My name is David Brown, for those of you who don't know me. I was Brenda's husband at the time of her departure, and I remember meeting Brenda at the Birch Tree Lounge. Now, you got to be like probably about over 40 years old to remember the Birch Tree Lounge that used to be down there on Swole Parkway in Kansas City, Missouri. But I remember that night when I met Brenda, and she was sitting at a table with her dear best friend, Terry Gilliard. And I walked over to her and I asked her to dance. And she got up and danced with me. And I remember the first song that we danced off of was the Gap Band, Humpin'. And we loved that song ever since then. As a matter of fact, we requested that song be played at our wedding as the first dance. So anyway, we danced on that song, and she went back down. And then later on, I went over and asked her to dance again on a slow jam. And so we danced on that, and I came back over to the table maybe 30 or 40 minutes later, and I asked her for her phone number. And she wrote it down. And at that time I didn't know, but I found out later, as she told me, that she had every intent to give me the wrong phone number. Wow, that was her plan. But God had different plans. And as they say, the rest is history. 37 years later, we were parted by death, till death do us part. But we wasn't estranged from one another. We wasn't divorced from one another. We stayed the course. And I'm so grateful to God for that. He blessed me with an angel. And we have, a few rough hills to climb during our marriage, as most marriages do. But through it all, God brought us through. We persevered, and I'm so grateful for that. So I just want to, I just start thanking the Lord, thanking Him for the time that He allowed me to have with her, thanking Him for bringing her into my life. She is truly an angel. God bless each and every one of you. May God keep you, is my prayer.
Hi, I'm Vicki Carter. I'm Brenda's big sister. One of my favorite memories of her is that when we were kids, we were, as sisters, always finding something to argue about. But there was one thing that we did agree on, and that was our fear of Dracula. We shared a bedroom and a bed, and there were times when, during the summer, when it's a cool summer night and you have your windows open, as many of you know, old school Dracula always appeared as a bat, and usually around your window. And suddenly, magically, the bat would change into Dracula, and he would suddenly be in your room. Brenda and I weren't having any of that. We were not planning on having his fangs in our necks. And because of that, thank God we shared a bed, we would have the cover up around our necks and sweating bullets. But guess what? Mission accomplished, because Dracula never sunk his fangs in our neck.
Hi, my name is Tanisha. I'm Nisi, 46 years old. I'm the oldest of Brenda's 3 children. Some of the best advice that my mom gave me, well, for one, let me tell you this one funny one. And she stayed true to it, and she was consistent. She was known for being consistent. My mom always told me, don't get with anybody if he didn't make $90,000 or more. She meant that. Ooh, and she would say that all of the time. So I would say, hey, I met this guy, and she'd go, does he make $90,000? And it was like 12, or okay, maybe not 12, but I was like maybe 18, 20 even. And I'm like, no, he does make $90,000 a year. He might make $750 an hour, but he's on his way. So that was something that would always stick in my mind. Whenever I meet somebody, I'm like, do you make $90,000 a year? But that used to be really funny. But seriously, I think some of the best advice my mom gave me was really no different than she even gave her students. Do your best. Be the very best you that you can be. So whoever you are, be the very best Niecy that you can be. I think my mom was a true example of strength and dignity. Even going through some of my trying times, she would tell me to hold my dignity. And persevere, don't try to travel around your situation, but to plow right through it.
Hi, my name is Whitney Williams, born on October 2nd, 1985 to Brenda and David Brown. I am the youngest of 3 children. One of the most memorable things, I can remember her dropping me off to college, and that's when I really realized that I was out on my own. They told us all, the new students, to go on the field and, turn around and wave and tell our parents goodbye. And I just remember my mom just busting out in tears because we knew that, that was it. Like, that was kind of my journey as to going off and, being an adult. I remember when I first found out that I was pregnant, my mom was the first person that I told, because she was the one she's always the first person that I told everything to. So she was just so excited, and she just couldn't wait. And as my pregnancy went along, and then she kind of, started getting a little bit more sick and stuff, I remember her specifically saying to me, and also praying, that God would just allow her to be here long enough to that God would allow her to be here long enough to see and be able to meet her new grandbaby. And that's exactly what he did. God promised her that, and he kept his promise, and I'm so grateful for that, and I know that she is too. I remember when I came home from the hospital, before I even went home, she was my first stop to make. I went straight to her house so she could see her grandbaby. And the excitement on her face and the smile on her face was just magical, and she couldn't wait to hold her. And I remember giving the baby over to her and just seeing her sit there and hold her, and I just sat there and watched her the whole time, just playing with her and loving on her. And I took her over there almost every day until the day that she had to go into the hospital. Took her over there every day to see her grandma. And I know that she really enjoyed that and she appreciated that. And I'm so grateful to God and thankful that he allowed my mom to have that time with Peyton. And I'm so grateful that my baby was able to meet her grandmother, because she was amazing.
Okay, my name is Brandon Jackson. That's the name that everyone knows me by. My first name is actually Edward. I am the middle child of Brenda Brown. Her personality was that of making other people happy, making other people smile, making other people laugh. And that was her number one agenda. If you're laughing, you're having enjoyment, and that made her happy. She was constantly cracking jokes on each of us. We all had little nicknames, or, I remember growing up, as a young child, I was nicknamed Dr. No More, and that was her way of, respect, but at the same, acknowledging the fact that, hey, I've got a smart child, but also making a fun joke about it as well, The legacy that my mom left, for myself, was a legacy of perseverance, a legacy of strong-willedness, and overcoming any obstacle.
Trouble, heartaches, and pain will soon be over. There'll be no more. All be over. Tear-stained eyes and mournful cries will soon be over. We'll shout. Bye. Oh, trouble, heartaches, and pains will soon pride will soon we'll shout. Oh, trouble, heartaches, and pain will soon. There'll be no more. It'll all be over. Tears stained eyes and mournful cries will soon. We'll shout. I'm gonna walk in that old Jerusalem, where the have never been told, where the streets are paved with gold, in the homeland of the soul. Gonna view that holy city, Lord. 12 gates to the beautiful city. 12 gates in the beautiful city. 12 gates in the beautiful city. And we will rise. Oh, see that host all dressed in white. And we will rise. Oh, we will rise. Oh, rise. Then we will shout. No more dying, no more crying, no more hurts will, no more sickness, no more heartaches, no more jealousy,